Greetings. We're going to look at a little bit of applied math, math that you use in real life. Our example is going to be the purchase of a vehicle, so we're going to need to calculate some simple interest if you're buying your vehicle with financing. In other words, you're taking out a loan, which is what majority of people, I think, are probably doing. We're going to have in the story problem that the vehicle we're looking at has a purchase price of $20,000. We're going to have 7% sales tax on that will be charged on this purchase. There is a $17 fee for title. And then we are going to be offered financing at 5% for 5 years. 5 years is, I think, a pretty typical vehicle loan. So the question we want to answer is, how much will we actually pay for this vehicle if we make those scheduled payments over the life of the loan? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to calculate the tax. Most people, we're not putting any money down on this, so we're not deducting from the principal here. And I would say there's probably a lot of people that are going to allow the tax to be a part of the loan so they don't have to pay the tax up front. Depending on your individual circumstances, these numbers may be different. You may pay your tax at the time of purchase, or you may have a down payment which lowers the principal. It's going to lower the principal involved in starting that loan. So this is a scenario. Your actual experience where you go to buy a vehicle may be different. But we're just looking at this story problem. So this is not financial advice. This is just some general knowledge to have about the cost of large purchase items and how the simple interest is going to affect the price that you could potentially pay. We're going to start with the $20,000 here. And we're going to multiply that by 0.07 to find the tax that we owe. It's 0.07 because this is 7%. Percent is parts of 100. So you can rewrite 7% to be the fraction 7 over 100. 7 parts of 100%. And if you divide that out, you get the 0.07. So we're going to multiply that out, and we get that that is $1,400. So we're going to have $1,400 that we have to pay in tax on this vehicle. In the scenario that we are dealing with here, we're not paying that money up front. We're going to allow that to be a part of the loan. If you actually did purchase this in real life, perhaps you'd pay this up front. Again, you're going to have to talk to your auto dealer to figure out what your circumstances are. It's not a bad idea, though, to calculate this thing out ahead of time and have an idea of the actual cost that it's going to cost you when you go to the dealership and start to talk money, because then you can have an idea of what your budget is, and if the numbers don't seem to add up to your expectation, then you know you need to start asking questions for clarification. We're going to add this $1,400 to this cost of the vehicle. And then we are going to figure out what 5% of this is, because that's going to be our loan, 5% on that over 5 years. So again, I'm going to write this down as 0.05 because we're taking the 5%, doing the same process we did here and converting it into a decimal. This gives us that it's going to cost us $1,070 each year on this loan. So we're taking this $1,070 and we're multiplying it by 5, the 5 years of the loan. And that is $5,350. Right? This amount of money is going to be added to this. Because this is the purchase price of the vehicle, the tax on the vehicle. This is the cost of the loan over the 5 years. And then we also have to add our title fee of $17. And that means if we don't put any money down other than maybe paying the title at the time, we are taking a loan out for the purchase price of the vehicle and for the taxes that we owe. We have a cost on the loan. So overall, this car that we were priced at $20,000 is actually going to cost us $26,767. If you needed to know what your monthly payments would be, assuming that we paid the $17 for title, we're going to add these two values here together. So 26750, $26,750 here. We're going to divide that by the 5 years times 12, because there's 12 months in a year, so we're looking at 60 months. So we're going to divide this number by 60, and that is going to be a monthly payment. So you'll know how much that needs to go into your monthly budget if you are doing a monthly budget and want to know how much the car is costing you per month. But keep in mind also that this isn't including the insurance that's going to need to be on the car or the cost of your driver's license. So I'm getting that we should estimate that this is going to be approximately $445.84 a month for each month in the 5 years. Now this actually has some decimal expansion that is off of this. I rounded it up to the next penny higher. Even though normal rounding scheme you would probably round it to 83 cents, I'm rounding it to 84 cents to make sure that we are getting those fractions of a penny in there. Depending on the business practices, the place where you're doing business may round that up or down, or they may have some other scheme to capture that fraction of a penny. But this is my estimate. I am looking at the story problem and getting that the vehicle is going to cost us $26,767 total, having that taken out on loan for 5% at over 5 years. And then if we want to estimate the monthly payment, that is $445.84. So that we can budget for and know estimates for when we go car shopping. If we work this out at home before we go car shopping and this number seems too big for our budget, we know that there's some things in here, there's variables that can be changed. If you ever wondered in algebra class where you were ever going to use this, what a variable actually was, well, this is a place where we can think about this. The numbers that show up in this story problem are essentially variables in real life because they change. We don't have to buy a vehicle for $20,000. We can buy a vehicle that's cheaper if that's offered at the dealership. Taxes change depending on legal political issues, but they're going to be fairly stable. Banks do not necessarily offer the same financing. So if you find that one bank is offering you 5%, perhaps you call another bank and they're offering 4.7%. That may not seem like much, a fraction of a percent, but we're talking that this stuff adds up to dollars here. So you can shop around for banks. Banks are going to sell you loans like cereal. It's a product that they offer. We can also adjust the years of the loan potentially. You could maybe get a non-traditional loan of 7 years. That's something that's going to be a financial discussion with the dealership or the bank or both. So that's a variable. You could put money down if you have some savings. You could put money down and reduce the principal, which is going to reduce the fees that you end up paying to the bank. Another thing is you could eliminate the loan altogether. If you've saved up enough money, you can buy the vehicle outright. You're going to have to pay the sales tax, but if you buy the vehicle without a loan, then you don't have this financing at all. The financing's costing us $5,350. That would be completely eliminated if you could afford to buy the car without a loan. So those are variables. Those are going to change the calculation and the final total. Hopefully this has been educational and interesting. We want to be good stewards with our money, make good decisions, so having some mathematical preparation is going to help us toward those ends. Cheerful calculations.